There's a lot to learn with parrot behavior, and I don't want to take away from the presentation, but what I will say is, sorry Sharon, Lara Joseph has actually been doing a periscope with her training, so you could see live how she's training the animals at her facility, and you can ask questions. She can't see you, so don't worry about it. And every Sunday morning, she has at 9 o'clock Eastern time, Coffee with the Critters, if you want to check it out. It's really cool that she's able to do this, and her training methods are just out of this world. And just to remind you guys, she is the one that had the cockatoo, Rico, that had the glue. All right, I'm sorry. I'm cutting into her time now. But it just kicked me off. So I would like to welcome Sharon Collins, who put together a wonderful presentation about our trip, and Diane Hyde, who's assisting her, and Paula Basso, who was also on the trip. And I won't embarrass her now. I will at the end. All right.
We all love you, Tony. Get off.
So have him say 1 minute. My name is Bella. 27.
Okay, the 50-50 raffles were $54. So that's $27 to the winning ticket and $27 to the Long Island Parrot Society. And Matt's going to call out the number.
Hold your ears. You're not loud.
8851969. Can I talk more?
What is that?
Don't move, Michelle. Michelle, don't move.
Don't move.
Well, he said it wrong. Read it again.
8511989.
Does anybody have that number ending in 989?
This is not planned.
Keep the money.
All right, well, thank you to the Bassos. They donated the money back to Lips. And now I'm going to embarrass them. The Bassos donated 100 times 2 to the Long Island Parrot Society this evening. Thank you very, very much. And Marilyn and Erwin Loefke also donated 100 this evening to the Long Island Parrot Society. Thank you guys, thank you very much. And I know you purchased your tickets, right?
Come here. Lizzie, what do you want? Say thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Hi, everybody. All right, everybody hear me? Yep. Okay. All right, so I'm here. I'm going to tell you guys all about our fascinating trip that we all went on. I tried very hard to get everybody to go, but don't worry, you guys will all have another chance. Closer? Okay. Basically, we went to the Animal Behavior Center in May. If you all remember, last year, August 4th, Lara, who was the speaker at our expo 2 years ago, she had an umbrella cockatoo that had a major accident in her center where PVC glue had spilled over the entire bird. He actually ingested it. She thought she was going to lose him. So this brought up, we started following Lara and all of her animals. I just want to read something really quick. First of all, let me just say, Lara Joseph is the owner of the Animal Behavior Center. It is an international education center where she teaches people about behavior by working with animals using positive reinforcement and applications in applied behavioral analysis. So that's what she does. This whole thing with us going started because of Rico and an accident that he had. I was going to read, there's a magazine on the table, and she wrote an article about Rico's recovery. So I'm just going to go flash back. She wrote, I remember coming home from the animal emergency clinic at 2:30 a.m., having to leave Rico behind and wondering if he was going to make it through the night. I started preparing myself for the worst because I couldn't imagine a parrot living through such an accident. I sat at my computer and began explaining the accident on Facebook with the intention of telling people that Rico was probably not going to live and that I was going to be shutting down the Animal Behavior Center and would be making my exit from the animal world. I had made a drastic mistake that was going to cost the life of a parrot. It was an accident and I didn't know how I was going to live with it. Well, with all of the support that she received from posting on Facebook, and we were ourselves were giving, I was giving daily updates on the Parrot Society website. We were giving monthly on the Parrot Society meetings. Well, lo and behold, Rico is absolutely fine. He pulled through. He is beautiful. If you look on the poster board there, there is a picture of Lara wearing our shirt with Rico. Through all of this that she was going through, and me and Diane were following very, very closely, we had decided that we needed to see Rico for ourselves, which is what sparked the trip, because we wanted to see Rico, see him fly, and just know for ourselves that he was good. So we went there to meet Lara and all the animals. We each kind of had our favorite. Diane's is Milo the pig. Mine was Rico, but I will tell you that since my visit, Rocky has stole my heart. He makes me melt. He's a Moluccan cockatoo. He is absolutely beautiful, and he just knows how to charm the women. And we wanted to see Lara, how she trains. It is amazing, her training techniques that she uses. And she is so willing to share with other people and teach them how to do the same. This is everybody who went. We have Diane and me. The blonde, who is missing a lip shirt, which she will get one for next year, that is my girlfriend Jen. She lives in Michigan. She drove down to come on this trip. Then we have Anne and Paula. Paula was not really too sure she wanted to go, but she is definitely so happy she went. Yay. Right, Paula?
Yep.
Okay, go to the... So, we drove there in my car. I have a diesel Passat, and we did very, very well on gas mileage. It took us about 11 hours. We stopped once for a meal and a couple of times for breaks, and we switched drivers, so everybody got a turn. 10 hours in a car with these 4 women that were on this trip. It went very quickly. Anne kind of shocked us all in the beginning because she saw something dead on the side of the road and decided to scream, "Roadkill!" and scared the daylights out of all of us. Poor Paula was ready to jump out of the car.
Poor Paula.
I was like, oh my God, what did I get myself into? Because we all really didn't know each other that closely when going on this trip. We learned a lot. And I'm not disappointed at all. Okay. Now, when I was arranging this trip, I had spoke with Lara, and Lara had said, you know what? Before you come to me, she says, the Black Swamp Bird Observatory is right there where our hotel is. And we happen to be there the biggest bird week of the year. So all the birds were migrating back in. So we were like, okay, let's go check it out. And we went and we got to see, they had bird feeders set up all outside, like a double pane window. So we got to see all the birds coming and feeding there. We got to see demonstration of them banding birds. They were literally setting up nets, catching birds in the nets. They would hold them, they would weigh them, they would put a band on their foot, like a little tracker, and then they would re-release the birds, all in a matter of seconds. It was amazing. Little kids were there, and the little kids got to help with the release. They actually told a story about a bird that they found that actually came from, was as far as
Colombia.
Where?
The
Caribbean?
Colombia.
Colombia.
Yeah, the country.
They found a bird that had a tag from Colombia, ended up in their area. And they were able to contact that bird place and say, hey, we just found a bird that's got your tag on it. So it shows the distance that birds will go. But that was pretty amazing. We saw all different types of birds that are native to their area. Okay. Then we decided to take a drive-through, a self-tour, and we got in my car and we drove all throughout the park, and it was amazing just seeing wildlife in nature, and it was just beautiful. Now this is us all there taking pictures. That is Lake Erie in the background, which a year ago I went to Michigan, and part of my bucket list was to hit every Great Lake. I hit every Great Lake except for Lake Erie. Well, on this trip, as you can tell, I hit Lake Erie. It is the most toxic lake ever. But I hit it. I went in it, so I've tackled all from my bucket list. Yes. Oh yes, there are times where Ohio and certain parts of Michigan cannot use any water coming out of their faucets. It is bottled water only. It's been all over the news. It is extremely toxic. So yeah, Lara said there's been many a times where she's had to just live on bottled water for cooking, everything. You can't even heat it long enough to get it clean. There's dumping, I guess dumping. Runoff. But yeah, it's kind of scary. But I went in it. Nobody else would join me, but I went in it.
And we didn't.
Yeah. Okay, good. Then we arrived at our destination, and it was absolutely amazing. You know when you have like such a wonderful feeling about something, and it's like all you want to do is talk about it? Well, all we've wanted to do is talk about this since we got back. It was just an amazing.
And I must say that everyone goes poo-poo to a selfie stick.
Yes.
Sharon's selfie stick took fabulous shots.
That was my selfie stick, so I could get everybody in a picture together.
Yeah, looks good.
Yes. But this is outside. This is her center. It is a 10,000 square foot center. Right before we arrived, like a week before we arrived, that had like where you could walk down into the ground. Beautiful grass. I mean, it was beautiful. They had a hole in the middle of it.
Like a pit.
Like a pit. Well, she wanted to take the pit out. So right before we got there, they had removed the pit, filled it all in, and she thought she was going to get the grass put in prior to us arriving, but it didn't happen. So, but we were okay. Dirt's fine. We weren't there to see the green grass. This is the center.
And then this is a video.
Oh, we have a video? Okay, this is Willie the turkey vulture. Let me just tell you a little bit about him. Wait, stop it. He is a 17-year-old turkey vulture that she is taking care of. He belongs to Nature's Nursery, and she is taking care of him and using him for educational purposes. For years, he was sitting at Nature's Nursery in a cage, and nobody could go near him. Nobody could do anything with him. And she was like, hey, let me give it a shot. Let me see what I can do. And, you know, maybe we can use him for education. Well, her training has come so far, and we have a video of him now. Oh, it's fascinating. She's taking him out of his little tucked away area.
Here he comes.
Ain't he beautiful?
Yeah.
I have pictures over here for after. Basically, that 10,000 square foot aviary is his. He lives in that aviary. He has a tiny little pen that he goes in, that he is in when the people are there to mow the lawn or somebody's got to do some work. But for the most part, that aviary is his cage. Yeah, it's like totally his cage. He's got a 5.5 foot wingspan.
Wow.
Wow. He's huge. Or should I say, is it she? She. She is huge. They basically, she was footprinted. They had to pull her out of the wild because she was going near schools where little kids were. And they took her away and they put her back someplace else, and she came right back. And they came to realize that she was imprinted by people. So she was not going to do well in the wild. She could not get her food naturally. So that's how she came to be in... Okay, so now Lara also has Cello, a roller pigeon. Last October when she did her national education thing, she had gotten this Cello, the roller pigeon, she had brought in to show training. Well, Cello and Willie have become very, very good friends, and they are housed together. They are kind of like mates, even though they don't like connect. You can see in this picture here, we have Cello up here,
you can see him.
and we have Willie right there. So, and Cello is very, very smart. She just today on Periscope did a whole thing on training Cello, and it's fascinating. This is Rico. This is that beautiful umbrella cockatoo that she almost lost. And he is absolutely amazing. The bond that the two of them have is one that I've never seen before. He is 11. Rico is the only one I think she's had since a baby. Okay.
Yeah, and I think that it was Lara's love for Rico and vice versa. That's why he's, obviously the medical field did wonders, but I think it was their bond that helped him survive. It's amazing.
Yeah, he fought for her as hard as she fought for him.
Right.
Okay, this is Rocky. Now, for everybody that has a bird that absolutely doesn't listen, screams all the time, is aggressive, well, Rocky was going to get euthanized because he was a screamer, he couldn't be controlled, and Lara actually got him from a rescue and said, let me give a shot at it. And she took him in, and that was 8 years ago. Rocky's about 17. And she took him in, and he is Rocky Valentine. He is a woman heart stealer. I met him, and oh my God, I fell in love. He sits there and he goes, Rocky roll! He's amazing. And so much fun.
And that's the reason that Lara started.
Yeah, actually, yeah, Rocky is the reason that Lara started this education center. So this whole center that she has put together is because of him, because she realized that there are birds out there that are as bad as Rocky was, that all they needed was a chance and to be taught through applied behavior analysis, you know, through positive reinforcement, and it does amazing. Okay, now we have Murray, who is a green-winged macaw. Now Murray cannot fly. He has full wings, but he never learned to fly when he was a baby. He was never allowed. He is the only bird that in her center that does not fly. And then we have Suki, who is actually Murray's best friend. They are buddies. And then we have Ollie and Butters. They are budgies, who all of these birds are fully recalled. She can go anywhere and call them and they will go right to her. And it's all through positive reinforcement. Milo. Milo is a Juliana pig. He is absolutely adorable. And she does a lot of behavior training with him. And he's just so smart. Never realized how smart a pig was. Now Levi came to her as somebody saying, hey Lara, can you do me a favor? Can you see what you can do? We have a deaf bulldog and we need to, you know, find out how with training, and then we need to find a home for him. Well, she brought Levi home, started training him, and she has a 2-year-old Rottweiler who at the time was about a year. Well, Quincy, the Rottweiler, started training Levi. And you could literally see the dog working with Levi, doing a whole training process, plus Lara doing it. Well, she got so much commotion on Facebook about her taking Levi that she finally made the announcement that Levi would not be leaving and he would be staying with her at the center, which was amazing, and because, you know, they just were so meant to be.
And I must say that Levi has a mark of the buffalo on his bottom.
He's got a really cute butt.
So you can see his bottom, it looks like a buffalo kind of facing that way, so he's buffalo butt.
If you follow Lara on Facebook, every Monday morning she's got a Levi butt picture.
This is going to be a video. I can go through it quickly.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay.
This is her training of teaching them to station.
Right. She has areas on the floor, so you can see Milo is standing on his station, and she has stations within the aviary which it crosses, and she wants the animals to stay and not move until she says you can move. So she protects everyone. So right now she wants Milo the pig not to come for the food until she says so. And she's telling him, you can't really hear it, but she's telling him, go back on your station. And there he goes. He is just so smart. And he is a bully. She says that pigs, everyone says pigs are so cute, they're smarter than dogs, but she said they can be bullies. You have to be very careful not to just go out and get a pig because they're cute. And Levi is just,
he's completely deaf.
he's completely deaf, but because she has stationed him there and told him to stay, he's not going to move until she says you can move. And as you can see with Milo, she has to keep saying to him, go back on your station. So, and he does, but you know, he's so excited to tell us.
That's the amazing thing.
It's so very, very cute. And it was really great to see her in action.
Quincy.
Now, this is Quincy. This is her Rottweiler. He's 2 years old. He's actually her pet. So she got him as a gift. And he basically takes care of Levi. The bond that you see with the two of them is amazing. Now, this is her biggest supporter. This is Freddie. This is her husband. He is an amazing man. Now, a funny thing is, with Rocky is on his lap right now. When they first got Rocky, Rocky loved Freddie. Lara could not get near him. Through all of the training process, Rocky now goes to both of them, plus goes to strangers. She can hand Rocky off to anybody, and he's like completely has changed. Lara has a lot to offer. I want to go into some detail as to what is out there. Right now, for anybody that has a computer or a smartphone, she does these things, what Ann was saying.
Or a tablet.
Or a tablet. She does these things called Periscope, which is a live streaming of her doing training at her center. You get to see this afternoon, she did a live training of getting Willie, the turkey vulture, into his crate, and then she had to take the crate and go outside to put Willie in his outside enclosure. And it's all done through positive reinforcement. He walked right into the crate. She was able to shut the door. There was no stress. He brings her out. I mean, and she does this all while live streaming. If she messes up, the world sees it. You know, so she says, what's really good is, wait, what is it?
The Periscope is great because it's live,
Right.
but then it's live, so you see her mistakes,
Right.
but you see her correct the mistakes.
Yeah.
But she's not making a mistake on purpose.
Right.
It's
It shows both sides, and that even her can, you know, sometimes get caught. On Sunday mornings at 9 a.m., she has Coffee with the Critters, which this past Sunday she focused on Milo the pig.
That was so long ago.
Yeah. I don't know, I've watched it multiple times.
Yeah, it's
Willie, and I think Milo the pig she was major focus on.
Right.
Oh,
the rats.
Oh, the rats. Yes, I didn't go into. She also, if you can tell look at the board here, she just introduced 2 new animals to her training center. They are rats. Piper and Stella.
Very cute.
They are actually her new loves, because I'll tell you, she's having such a blast. And you get to see all of this if you do the Periscope. They climb all over her. They are very, very smart, let me tell you. She trains them using bananas in a medicine syringe. And she trains them, and they know how to station. They station now on her shoulders. And when she says back into the cage, she just goes like this, and they run right down her arm and go right back into the cage.
And to add to that, when she's having them stationed on her shoulder, she's having not just one on each shoulder, but it's one particular one on her left and one particular one on her right.
They each have their
I can't
own
remember
side.
which one was which side. I mean, it's just amazing.
She has trained, she has done owls. She's had an owl that she has trained for somebody. She actually does dog classes and pig classes and fish.
And
fish. She trains fish to station. She trains fish to come on call. It's amazing. She's got a huge brown fish tank. It's like a pond, an outside pond. And she trains the fish. But let me get back. The Periscope, I highly recommend, if anybody's having trouble with their birds or any animal, if you do the Periscope, you will, one, get awesome tips on what you can do to fix the problem. You can interact with her. You can send her text messages and ask questions, and she will respond to your questions right then and there. You can email her questions to her contact on her website, and she will respond to all of her emails and answer questions.
And also, if you are doing the Periscope, which is fantastic, I love it, and you want to see something in particular, if you email her, she'll try to put something together.
She'll do a Periscope
for that topic that you're asking.
she'll do a periscope on a particular topic. Murray, her green wing macaw, this past week, she realized had something on his foot. And she realized it, and she did a whole periscope on, you know, what do you do if you see something that's not right on your bird? And she did a whole periscope. She showed everybody the foot, and then she's like, okay, you know, I'm going to take him to the vet, and I'll be back. And then later on, she came back on, and she said, okay, well, the foot, there's definitely a little raw spot. They didn't know if it was because of where he was perching, you know, if that was causing a problem. But they put medicine on it, and by the next day, it was like cleared up. So, but she did a whole periscope on, you know, having to medicate, you know, how to put medicine onto an area, how to train a bird to accept having, you know, medicine put on his foot. She did a periscope on muzzling your dogs to where if you had to put a muzzle on, how to train to handle having a muzzle. And, you know, all different things.
And Milo got in on the action on that. So
Oh,
she
yes.
was training Levi and Quincy with the muzzle, and it was fascinating to see how there's absolutely no force. There's no forcing the bird. There's no forcing Murray to give up his foot for the medicine. He knew to pick up his foot so she could put the medicine on it and put it back down. No stress, nothing. It's really wonderful. So she's training Quincy and Levi with the muzzle, and then there's Milo, who wants to get in the action. So as she's training the two dogs, she's also then training Milo, because he's like, well, what about me? So that was pretty cool.
You don't want to be left out.
Well, while we were there, we happened to mention to Lara that October 2016 is our expo, and we invited her to possibly come and speak, and she said yes. So Lara is coming to our expo, October 2016, and she will be presenting there. Now, the even better news, if anybody wants in, we are taking another road trip back to Lara's October 7th to the 11th, 2016. She has her Animal Behavior Center 2015 event will be that weekend. The weekend that we are having our expo here, she is actually having her own national event, and it's 2 days of information packed with national speakers, vendors, networking. And what I found out today is when she does these things, all of the money that is raised goes back out to the rescues and charities. It is not going back to her. So when we go in 2016, it's basically all the money is going right back out to a rescue of some sort or a charity, and I think that is absolutely amazing.
And just to add to that, all the work and what she's been doing at the Animal Behavioral Center, she's fronting the bill herself for everything. So I just think, you know, you don't find a lot of behavioralists that are funding their own stuff. She does.
Well, anybody have any questions in reference to anything you saw or the animals?
So her building is like 10,000 square feet. Now, does she envision having more birds living in there from trying to breed?
What she has right now, animal-wise, is what she's not adding anymore, so she says. But basically, Willie flies free in there pretty much 24/7 unless they have like the lawn mowing crew has to come in. That is his cage. Same thing with Cello, the roller pigeon. They fly free. If she brings Rocky out, Rocky can be out in the center with Willie. If she brings Rico out, Willie has to go away. So then Willie will go into his cage. She actually can get Willie to go right into his cage. All she has to do is offer him scrambled eggs.
That's my bird.
She offers Willie scrambled eggs, and Willie will go anywhere she wants her to go.
Yeah, the Lara Center is an old nursery. So it's a big old greenhouse. And then what she does, she has a separate room as her media room where she does a lot of her training. And then she has a separate room where the birds like Rico and Rocky and Suki and all the parrots are in this separate room. And also Milo the pig has his own house. She has beautiful, I don't even want to call them cages. They're 8 separate aviaries for the birds. So the only birds that are housed together are Suki the Amazon and the 2 budgies. There is enough room that they're not going to be, you know, any types of conflict.
Rocky, Rico, and Murray, their cages are probably about the size of the stage here.
Yeah.
They have those big, I mean, they can free fly in those cages. Every one of her animals is out in that center for a minimum of an hour free flying a day. So none of them are like trapped in a cage. Every one of those animals gets taken out. She does, and she highly recommends, when you train an animal for their food, you will get much better response. So if they want to eat dinner, all of their dinner is either through training, foraging. She has, if you look at Rocky's cage, Rocky has about 7 toys within his cage. And each one of those toys is a foraging toy. So he has to literally work for his food. And it keeps him busy, keeps the mind stimulated, and it prevents behavioral. She was saying the other day that if a bird is sitting on a perch for more than 20 minutes not doing anything, you're gonna have bad behaviors start to build.
I'm sorry.
Well, the main aviary is not heated. That is, you know, the 10,000 square foot, that is not heated. But, you know, they're wild animals. They're, you know, Willie and the roller pigeon are wild animals. They do fine. The rest of the animals are in a heated room where it's, you know, weather protected. And if they can't fly free in the aviary, she'll take them out of their cages and they can fly around the room that all their cages are in. And they basically go from cage, top to cage, top to cage.
So, you know, and obviously you can't air condition something that size, but there's vents. You see where the blue is? It is vented, so she can open up that 10,000 square foot on each side. And it has screening in it, obviously, so the birds can't get out. And she has fans running, because she said it does get hot in the summer. But because of the way it's constructed, with the sun coming in through that, it probably warms it up enough that they're able to survive quite fine.
She's been in this center now, what, 2 years?
Yes.
She's been in this center now 2 years. And they've gone from having snow all over the top, through storms, everything, and it's been absolutely fine so far. Any other questions? I would love, we have over a year till our trip that we're planning to go, so if anybody is interested, keep it in mind. We'll probably start booking, you know, making plans and stuff, probably like 6 months or so prior to. And Lara will be here at our expo the Saturday, and then the following Friday we will be heading out to her. If you can go on to the Periscope, check it out. You'll see her whole center for your own eyes and see how everything is, and it was just absolutely amazing.
So you can go onto the website with the Periscope at any time and you can view all this?
Basically, she does live streaming, and you can watch it live if you can, you know, you catch it when she'll come on and it will say Animal Behavior Center streaming, and you can click on it and you can watch it live. say it's not a good time and you can't watch it live, there are replays for 24 hours. So you can go back on 2 hours later, 3 hours later, click on it, and you can watch that whole training session from start to finish and see everything she's done. She gives so much training advice through these periscopes that it's, you know, it's amazing. You know, you could learn a lot. She also has, which is it's starting now for signing up, but it kicks in full force, I think, on October 1st. She is doing the, can you hand me that card? She's running giving a service of becoming a member, if you wanted to become a member of the Animal Behavioral Center. And basically, she has training videos, webinars, which right now I have a free webinar, which is on the table, which you can sign on to her, and it's you, her, and maybe 4 other people, all like Skyping on a computer. And she will be teaching, you know, she's got different ones. I did one which was Parrot enrichment training, and she'll guide you and teach you about everything. And then if you have any questions, you can, you know, either ask right then and there or email her. She is so personable that, you know, any question you have, she just wants to help. So she's got a couple of different memberships that you can purchase. She does this internationally. She's got people all over the country, all over the world that she does training with via the computer. Most of her stuff is via the computer. So if you have access to a computer, go online. She's on Facebook. You can send her a friend request to her personal Facebook, which is Lara Joseph. That's more fun stuff with the animals. Or the Animal Behavior Center, which is more training of all of her animals. It's a great site. You can friend to both of them. All right, so take a look at them. This is on her website now, if you want to take a look at it.
Will your trifold be available at each meeting?
Yes, I will have this trifold here at every meeting. Lara is also going to be donating a webinar at all of our meetings. So, you know, through the raffle process, you can try and win a webinar. Otherwise, it's only $35 and you get a ton of information. Okay, I did one. It is highly, highly recommended. Also, there's Parrot magazine. I just want to show you. I found this. She had mentioned that she does blogs and articles, and she had mentioned, hey, they asked me to write an article on Rico and his recovery. So in this magazine it says, Cockatoo Recovery, another success story. Well, that is the story about Rico. And if you look inside, and I'll have this on the table, if you look up right here, it's us. Lips has made it into the magazine. It was us seeing Rico for the first time. We were all like starry-eyed, and it was amazing. But so the article's here if anybody wants to read it, and I'll keep that with the board, so if you don't get to see it this time around, it'll be here next time. If you have any questions about any of the pictures, take a look at them. They're absolutely, some of the pictures are absolutely beautiful, and you can ask any questions to any of us. Thank you very much.
The board is missing a picture.
No.
The board is missing a picture.
Yeah, all the straws and the bills.
Okay, I forgot to make an announcement before. We have Parrot Expo postcards that I'm asking, or we're asking, for you guys to help us and distribute them everywhere and anywhere you can. Local stores that you attend, Susan has bundles. please, if you please raise your hand and Susan will give you a